G'day, it's Heath here from pickinglessons.com. In this guitar lesson, we're going to take a look at a great fiddle tune by the name of Liberty. Liberty is played in the key of D, and we're capoed up at fret 2 for this arrangement. In a moment, we're going to take a look at part A right here in this video, and we're going to work through each of the measures together. If you head on over to pickinglessons.com, you will find a copy of the tablature that we're working from. And the tab has the pick marks in there for your right hand, and also has the marking for your left hand fingers, so you can keep track of where they need to be. You'll find the second lesson where we do take a look at part B and break that down, and also have a bit of a play through the entire tune slowly. And you've also got some play along and backing tracks, which are really useful for when you're working up the tune. So once you know it and you're working up your tempo, we've got a slower, medium and a faster tempo version of those backing tracks and play along tracks. So pickinglessons.com. Let's jump straight into part A. Okay, part A here for Liberty on the guitar. We're in standard tuning, but the capo is placed up at fret 2. We're playing out of C shapes, and because we're at fret 2 with the capo, that puts us in the key of D. Liberty is generally played in the key of D, so capo 2. I'll play through the first 4 measures so you can have a listen, then we'll break those down, and we'll chat about the techniques we're going to work on as part of this lesson. So first 4 measures. So you'll notice that there was a bit of cross picking there over a couple of chord shapes. We're really going to focus on that in this lesson, the cross picking. Before we do that, the pickup notes, we have 2 8th notes, hammering on from that 1st and 3rd fret on the 2nd string. When we're counting in, that's on the 4th crotchet. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, if we're counting in 4/4 time. If we were going to count it in cut time, we do 1, 2. But it's on the 4th crotchet there. Moving on to measure 1, we have this cross-picking pattern, and it's basically like a banjo backward-forward roll. We're starting off on string 1, working our way through to string 2, then 3, back to 2. Throughout the arrangement, our picking is going to follow the down-up of the 8th notes. So in this case, all these notes are 8th notes, and that cross-picking pattern fits into the down-up movement. Starting on string 1, we have down, then up to string 2, down to string 3, up to string 2, then we repeat. We're just holding that 1st fret there on string 2. It's a partial C chord that we're holding. We don't need the lower notes, we just need that 1st finger to stay there on that 1st fret. So right hand again, down, up, up. That repeats twice in the first measure. Holding that 1st finger there, let's have a go at the first measure. 3, 4 and 1. So again, that right hand, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Following the 8th notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That cross-picking pattern is really worth working on, particularly as we get the tempo a little quicker. It's quite challenging to keep clean. So it's a really good exercise. So start out slow, really keep the picking consistent. Working that up a little bit quicker, 3, 4. And a little bit quicker, 3, 4. As you're working through this is a really good exercise, and you can work on keeping it clean, but try to increase the tempo as you go as well. Stay as relaxed as you can in the picking hands, so don't hold your pick too tight. The tighter you get in that pick grip and the more you stress that right hand, the harder it's going to be. So as you're increasing your tempo, really focus on staying as relaxed as you can in your picking hand. Once you've worked on that, you could put it together with measure 2. So let's take a look at that one. Measure 2. Here we just have a pretty straight little run, hammer on, and again following the down ups of the 8th notes with that hammer on, we have a downstroke, then the hammer. So down, up, down, down, up, down, up. There's a number of hammer-ons and pull-offs placed throughout the arrangement, and they certainly make the picking hand's job a little bit easier. so they help to smooth out the melody. Now, if we place the first and second measures together, that's a great exercise to work on. So coming out of the cross picking into that sort of standard movement of the melody. So that's a great exercise. Once you've worked on the cross picking for a little while, bring in measure 2, then try them together. It's a really nice way of balancing that cross picking. So coming out of the cross picking movement into the second measure. Moving on to the measure 3, we have some more cross picking, this time over the F chord shape. So try to hold the notes down. First of all, that first finger is on the first and second strings in the first fret, and your second finger is there on fret 2 of string 3. So hold those notes down as a chord. It's a partial F chord, but the right hand is going to be picking the same sequence as we worked on in the first measure. So the same down, up picking. So again, that's worth working on. You could work on a C and work on your F. Now, as we did just before, let's place the F with measure 4 as an exercise. So measure 4. Again, pretty straightforward. Watch that hammer on there. So down, up, hammer on, down, up, down, up. So measure 4. Let's place measure 4 with measure 3. So starting on the F chord, 3, 4. You'll notice that you can kick off measure 4 while you're still in that F position, and then obviously once we hit the open string you can relax that and move into the hammer-on position. So measures 3 and 4, ready, and... Okay, let's place together the first 4 measures and we'll begin at the pickup note. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we'll come back to that at the end of the lesson. We'll put the whole part A together. Now, moving on to measure 5, we're looking at the same C arpeggio, same C cross-picking pattern. Into measure 6, just like measure 2. Moving on to the final 2 bars, the turnaround here before we hit the repeat. So starting off with the pull off there, a downstroke, make sure you measure that out. They're 2 8th notes, 1 and, then into the down, up, down. Now here we have an upstroke on the G string, the 3rd string, with a hammer on to the 2nd fret, and then an upstroke on the open string there, the 2nd string. So down with a pull off, down, up, hammer on, up. One more time, and down with a pull off, down, up with a hammer on, up to finish the bar. Measure 8. Kicking off with the down up stroke, down with a hammer on, down with a hammer on, and those last 2 notes are just like the pickup before we go back and repeat. The second ending has a variation, as that will lead us into part B. Okay, let's put measures 7 and 8 together quickly. 3, 4, and... Okay, so we're going to play through part A here in a moment, complete with repeats, and we'll go through twice, finishing on that C note to resolve just at the moment. We'll take a look at the pickups to part B in the second lesson. Before you put the whole arrangement together here for part A, do spend some time on the cross picking. Stay as relaxed as you can in your picking hand. It's really important that you stay relaxed through the cross-picking passages, but just equally as important to stay relaxed in general in your right hand there. So working on the cross-picking and get to know each of these measures, Alright, so let's play through part A with the repeats, nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat. Alright, part A there for Liberty on the guitar. If you head on over to pickandlessons.com, you'll find the tab that we've been working on for both part A and part B. You'll find the second lesson as well, where we do tackle part B and work through the measures there and have a slow playthrough together. And we'll also have a playthrough the entire part A with repeats and B with repeats at the end of that second lesson. As part of the lesson, you'll also find backing tracks and play-along tracks at 3 tempos. So starting off with a slower tempo, working to a medium tempo, then to the full tempo that we heard at the beginning of this lesson. So pickandlessons.com, and I'll see you there.